your contacts. Do not have your entire base being on Instagram. If they go tomorrow, your followers will go tomorrow. So having people opt in and sign up on your website so you own those relationships is really important, right? So if, like me, you have a newsletter, having an opt-in offer. No one wants another newsletter for no good reason, right? So you've got to give them something, give them some incentive to opt in. So mine is a free guide, 7 ways to attract higher quality clients, 7 steps to attract higher quality clients, and get paid what you're worth, right? So that's something, and it's a really robust, good workbook that even if you never spoke to me, you never worked with me, you'd get value from that. Now they know, shit, she gave all this away for free? This is great. Like now I've already built trust just with that one thing. It takes time to create it, but you create it once. So with that, that is like, community building, right? So look at the opposite thing. Community building, we've got the newsletters, the blogs, and the videos. Like these things kind of like go together, like opposite each other. Now, say for example, we're just using you for example again, the divorce lawyer over here. Networking, and it's opposite, referral partners and strategic alliances. That might be gold for you. So that's where you want to build it. So you two would be great strategic alliances. You both serve the same people, but you do different things. Swap business cards. Have coffee. Speaking, webinars and workshops, same thing. Now for some people, speaking would be awful, right? Like they would just die a death rather than do this. I used to be one of those people, it's hard to imagine now, but I used to be. But if you like speaking and you really just love the spotlight, which is ultimately what it's up to. Webinars and workshops are really great too, right? They're a great way to offer free content, free training, and to just get in front of a room full of people who might be interested in working with you, right? Again, with the newsletters, blogs, and videos, social media. If you're creating one piece of banner content anyway, so say you create one newsletter letter every 2 weeks. It lives on your blog, you break it up into micro posts, you make a few images that go with those micro posts, you post those on your social media platforms where your people are, bam, you're done. You created one piece of high quality content and you disseminated it far and wide. One of the best pieces of advice I learned, I went to this event and it was an English guy speaking. And I couldn't stand him. It was awful. I was just gnashing my teeth the entire way because it was just like social media hacks, which was basically like 1,000 ways to spam people. Essentially, was what he was teaching. And he was dressed like a lot of English guys are. Really like wild and crazy. And I couldn't stand him. But I had such a great takeaway from it. And he said, so you never know, right? The takeaway was that you should be spending 10% of your time creating the content and 90% of your time distributing it. Guess who had it the wrong way around? I was spending like hours and hours writing these articles, and then because it was just me, like I would put it on my blog, I would send it on my newsletter, I'd put it on LinkedIn, and then that was pretty much it. I got worn out, right? That night, well, pretty soon after, I went home, I hired the VA that I had originally just hired project by project, outlaid like the $400 a month so that she could do all of that. I just had to write it and she could do all of the distribution. It was the best money I ever spent. And my husband said to me, he goes, well, what's the return on that investment? What money is she bringing in? I'm like, it's not about the money she's bringing in. It's the money that I'm freeing myself up to be making by being in my zone of genius, which is writing the damn thing, not posting it on LinkedIn, right? So this is what I mean about the strategy, right? And just picking the place you need to be. Pick 1 or 2 places, like 1 or 2 complementary things here, and just focus on that and get that good and solid before you try and do anything else. So, when will you share your stories? Map out an editorial calendar, right? So you can use industry events, industry cycles, you're on promotions, like maybe you've got a course going. Market around peaks and valleys, so you're not just like this one note kind of like droning on and on and on about these things, right? Like have some things that you're marketing to. So some tips. Peaks and valleys, we just talked about those. Consistency. If there's one thing I can't stand, and there's a few things as you can tell, like English guys who do social media hacks, inconsistent bloggers. When I get a newsletter and someone says, oh, sorry, you haven't heard from me for a while, I know it's been months since I wrote last, unsubscribe. I'm like, you promised me to give me this thing if I gave you my email address and you broke the promise. We're done. We're through, right? So you may think that's the extreme thing, but that's what people think, right? If you are inconsistent, if you say, I'm going to send you a newsletter every 2 weeks, and you do it every 6 weeks, you stop after 3 months, whatever, they're just like, well, she seems kind of flaky. I don't think that's what I'm looking for in a business coach. But the consistency builds the credibility, the trust, the familiarity, if nothing else, right? So whatever it is, don't be overly ambitious. Pick the one thing and be really consistent about it. I've written a newsletter every 2 weeks for like 9 years. Even when I had babies.
To the same people every 2 weeks?
Yeah, to your list. So hopefully that list is growing.
No, but you said you wrote a letter every 2 weeks
To my list.
Your list?
Yes.
And they keep on keeping, they don't opt out?
No, because I'm giving them new content every 2 weeks. I'm basically sharing, high quality content and tips around building a business every 2 weeks. So they may opt out because sometimes I opt out of things just because I'm just like, I'm sort of done with that person. I'm moving on to someone else. That's cool. That's normal, right? But it's not through lack of consistency or high quality content, right? And sometimes people work with me and they're like, I'm good. And they may opt out. At first I was really hurt, and then I was like, it's okay, it's cool. I do the same thing. I never opt out of my friends ones though, because I always feel like if they see it, I'll feel so bad. So I may not read them all, but I don't opt out of those ones.
Just delete them.
Yeah, exactly. So focus on quality, not quantity, right? So you don't have to be marketing. You have to be like on Instagram, 2 times a day. Do it 3 times a week if that's manageable. Build your own list. We talked about that. Own your contacts. And consider creating an opt-in, because they're really a great way of just showing your value right up front and really offering something that's of high quality. It doesn't work for every business, right? But for service-based businesses, certainly it's really a great idea, and it's a one and done thing for at least for a year or 2. So your action item for this step is to choose one place or platform where you're going to show up regularly. Okay? So we're almost on the home stretch, guys. Map your client journey. Now this is where a lot of people stop. They do the marketing, they put it out there, and then it's like, okay, great, I did it, right? Like, check, I can, why, okay, let me ask you this. Why are we marketing? Robin, why do you market? Just making sure you're paying attention. Mrs. Dangly earrings.
To be known as a thought leader and to get more business.
Yep, how do you get more business?
By sharing your trust and your knowledge.
What do they do?
Hmm?
What do they do? So say they come across one of your articles, what happens then?
They come into my what?
When they read one of your articles, what happens then? What do they actually do? Do they go, oh, that was great, she's really smart?
Right. They go to my website and they opt in.
Bingo! We got there in the end, Robin. I should have coached you before, and I'm gonna pick on you. Right? So we got that, right? So she has a journey mapped out for them. There's a plan once they've said, this looks interesting, I'm gonna click on this. How many people have a plan mapped out that takes them from marketing to buying? Okay? 4 or 5 people? Cool. All right, so this is for the people that haven't, or for the people who have. You never know, maybe there's something in here. So mistake number 3, marketing without purpose. It's just a waste of time, right? And we don't have much of that, we've already established that. So, what action do you want people to take? Robin wants people to opt in. Robin, can you tell us why you want people to opt in?
So that you get more content and then refer me and hire me.
Yes, and people might come across Robin and not be ready for her yet, right? So
I just got a call from someone who I emailed in 2017.
there you go. Great example of that. I had a person hire me. She first read my thing in 2015. Same thing. So I've had people that are on my list for reading the content for 4 years before they're ready to hire you. That's where you're building know, like, and trust, right? So Robin wants people to opt in because we don't know when they're going to buy. Let me ask you, lady with the glasses and the grey hair. What do you want? Janet, what do you want people to do?
Very similar. I want people to opt in, and it's a very similar thing. I've been doing consistently every month a newsletter since 2002.
Great. Oh,
and
wow.
haven't missed a month yet.
Nice.
And I have had people very recently who have been on the mailing list since 2002
Wow.
who have reached out. So
Amazing. I need to join your email list because clearly you're sharing good quality content. So anyone else have a different action that they want people to take? How about like scent, lady over here?
Well, I would like them to book an experience, either go online and take the scent quiz, and then we would create their own fragrance for them,